Sick. Should we get started?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start with the birthing story of me in that chair.
Yeah, so Darren's been birthed in this chair I'm sitting in. Last I heard it was an aqua birth too, so
It's a sturdy chair, man. Sick. Alex, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome here in person.
In person, live in the flesh.
I know,
Yeah.
it's weird. What's been happening?
Oh, I've been figuring it out, traveling around and just going to races and fixing bikes still.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
So you moved on from working with Jackson as much?
Yeah, I guess like as a proper team setup with Kona. Yeah, we moved on from that. Mainly just, Kona's taking a different route, different path from racing. So yeah, we're now here. I still hang out with Jackson a lot. We still go to all the local races together, Crankworks together. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, because you were at Roto with him, right?
I was at Rotorua just been a couple of weeks, well, last week actually. So that was good. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. So were you a bit surprised when the whole downhill thing was shutting down with Kona?
I guess we were not surprised, but still like, man, that's disappointing. We all love going to downhill races. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, because it kind of like for us looking outside in, it became real quick.
Yeah.
But then it seemed like talking to a few people, it was kind of writing was on the wall for a while.
Yeah, like, the bike was fun, but it was never a race bike. It's still really fun. I actually still really enjoy riding mine as well.
Yeah.
It's a sick bike to rip around on. Yeah.
And then like you were between like then and now you've been on Forbidden as well. Like you're doing a bit.
I was on Forbidden for a season. It's funny, like that 2021 year was kind of like, it was supposed to be Forbidden for the whole entire year, but both our riders ended up injuring themselves.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do the first half of the EWS season. So Matty, the manager of Kona at the time, he was like, well, come hang out with me for those 6 months.
Yes.
And then when those riders were fixed, then it was Forbidden.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those 6 months to a year.
Yeah. And then you like pretty much were a free agent for a little bit there?
Pretty much a free agent for the end of that season. And then I was kind of up in the air of a few other offers that I had. I was about to move to Canada. The whole thing. And then, at Nationals just this year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This year. Yeah, I got an offer from Yeti. Yeah.
Yeah, like, because you spoke to me at Nationals and you said you were going to Canada.
Yeah.
You're going to work for a certain wheel company. You're going to do a bunch of stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, sick. But then it all kind of changed real quick. Yeah?
It did. It was like I was very keen on the moving to Canada thing. It was going to be pretty good and could have made it really good as well. But, you get a better offer.
Yeah.
So that's just how it all snowballed.
What's like a race mechanic do when they don't have a job for a team though?
I guess they go back to the bike shop and go lay some bricks or something, mow the lawns.
Yeah.
But like while I'm not at the season, I contract myself to some various bike shops around the place.
Yeah, okay.
And just sort of get by with that.
Yes. Yeah. So you're not doing a full peltari and just mowing your lawns?
Yeah, not doing a full lawn mowing session yet. Maybe one day I'll get there, but at the moment I'm just filling in the blanks where I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even because you're with Yeti now, obviously, but Sean or Polar Bear, he does stuff for like Cyclinic in his time off.
Yeah, so he does full-time Cyclinic when he's at home. I'd love to do something like that, but at the same time, I'm sort of traveling around a bit all over the country, still consolidating my life into one place at the moment, doing my best to do that. So just trying to make all that work. Yeah.
That's so sick. And you've been traveling, like you got back from the race season this year and you're basically living the van life?
Within reason. Yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm living the van life. I'm living the van holiday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not like full-time in my van. It's like I have a tool to go places, so I'll use it. Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
So what was it like? So Sean just kind of hit you up at Nationals and...
Yeah. I said he was keeping sort of tabs on me
for
a little bit, and he knew he needed more people, and I spoke to him a little bit beforehand, and it was kind of like, oh, maybe we need somebody from the US or European based, because getting more people out from Australia is always, we're so far away.
Yeah.
You can't get around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, after time went on and it was like, okay, we still need people. This guy's available. And Sean was like, cool. Within a week, it was a done deal.
That's pretty hectic to like be, I'm going racing with one of the best enduro teams for the next year.
Yeah.
Just in like a week.
It was pretty funny. I was kind of just, at the time I got it and I was like, honestly, you could put almost anything in front of me right now and I'll be like, sweet. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? Were you just kind of worried or were you just stoked?
I wasn't. As soon as I knew there was like a opportunity with like the Yeti Fox team, I was like, I wasn't worried at all. I was like, I know it's a good setup. I know it's been doing it for ever. And I just went, I can be a part of that. Yeah.
Was it kind of like, obviously you've been around pros, you've been around Jackson, you've been around Connor, you've been around a few of the big fast racers, but what was it like going to a team with like Richie and those guys and having Jared Graves around?
Yeah. I was probably most spun out about Jared.
Yeah, okay.
Because, it's Jared Graves.
Yeah.
But the more you know these people, the more you hang out with athletes, the more you kind of realize that they're just like you and I a little bit. Yeah. They're just really fast on a bike.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick. And I guess like that team, was the dynamic heaps different to being on Maddie's team? Maddie's team seems pretty chill and family-like, or? It
was very, they're all very similar, in terms of the way you arrive at a race and you do it all. Just like the little things of, you've got now somebody to maybe make your lunch, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's all very similar, but very, very different dynamics of how like a different manager will run something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that tricky or?
Not at all. No, it was, well, I guess actually the first little bit, it's always like, okay, I just need to figure out how this is going to work. Not anything difficult, but just like, what time do you guys all wake up? What days do you do all of this? That little stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what do you like in your salad? How do you have your coffee? It's just those little things that you just, once you get them sorted out, then you're all good.
Because like being a mechanic at that level, you're doing a lot more than just working on their bikes, right? There's a fair amount that goes into general prep and getting their gear all ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of our team, where I feel like it's actually really nice. Like a lot of people think, the mechanics, not the mechanics, just everybody sort of sits there and the riders get nearly everything done for them. But the way we sort of operate is everybody cooks their own dinner.
Okay.
Every night. It's not like everybody has like one big group dinner and it's this person's job to cook. And it's really actually kind of nice doing your own dinner, because like Sean and myself, we can work on our own schedule of we might not have dinner till 9 p.m.
Yeah.
The riders want to have dinner at 6 because they got racing the next day. They want pasta. I want rice.
Yeah.
It actually works really nice that way.
Right.
And we always have like a group lunch. But breakfast, dinners, it's you do it. Yeah.
That's great. Like every video I've seen or every outside in, look like everything seems team wise. So
yeah, it does make it very team wise as well, because you're just given your own freedom still to do you. You're not just like being told what to do all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the athletes have got their own dietary requirements as well.
And that's the other thing. Like they might this week be trying something different or and it's just like, well, that doesn't work for everybody,
Yeah.
I might be on just like somebody might be on a tomato only diet. I hate tomatoes. Yeah.
That's not the new fad. Yeah. Like just tomato. That's how you get
tomatoes
fast.
Only.
Yeah. That's so good. I guess it keeps that riders a little bit humble as well, I guess, if they've still got to make their own lunch or their own dinner.
Yeah. Like it's, like I said, it's more the fact that you can work on your own schedule.
Yeah.
And do what you want to do, and just sort of gives you that independence. Not independence, but you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a weird kind of thing to explain, but yeah, you just doesn't feel like you're getting taken too far from home. Yeah.
And Whose bike were you working on most of the time?
So this year, most of the time, I was on Bex's.
Yeah.
I'm at the moment the mechanic for Bex and Casper.
Okay.
Casper unfortunately had a couple of serious injuries. One not his fault. But yeah, so I was with Casper for a race and a half.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, it was mainly just Bex. And then we had a couple of other supplementary riders from the Yeti national team that moved up to, fill that gap where we had a spare spot for the rider.
Yes.
So it was Kate Lawrence from the US. So whenever she was in EWS, I would help her out too.
Yes. Yeah. So you were on 2 riders and then Sean was basically.
And then Sean was Richie. Yeah.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Casper's crashes were dumb. Like they were the craziest shit.
Like the first one in Tweed Valley, that's just a racing incident. That's how it happens. The second one was absolutely just a freak accident of somebody going the opposite way on the pump track and breaking his jaw.
Didn't he have neck injuries, head injuries, and a bunch of stuff?
Tore a little bit off one of the tendons to his skull, I think.
Oh, dude.
And broke his jaw as well. And it was just as I said, a freak accident that could have been avoided, but
is what it is.
Is what it is. Yeah. So it was pretty wild and Whistler seeing him just fully
neck braced
up, mouth wide shut.
Oh, dude.
The whole lot. Yeah.
And he was on a heater as well. He was coming up.
That season he was going fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Tweed Valley, was that the first time you'd been there?
No, I was there we finished there in 2021.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this year was a lot nicer because the sun was out and it wasn't almost snowing. So 2021 was just almost nobody wanted to be there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The trees and the whole terrain thing looks super narrow and super sketchy up there.
It's as soon as you enter those woods, it's super dark and super narrow. But on the dry days we had there, it's some of the best riding I've ever done.
Yeah, right.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, anybody who's up that way, go ride Tweed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So you were riding with the athletes at most of the races?
That would normally be Jared's sort of domain.
True. Okay.
Yeah, so Jared took the role as team coach sort of this year. And he would usually do practice and everything with him. And then practice sometimes would also be shared between Sean and myself.
Okay.
If we want to ride, we can. If we don't feel like we have time, we've got to drive a shuttle van instead.
True.
Yeah. So is that I always had Jared. And then Sean and I would just sort of ride if we got time. Do this if you don't. So
are there shuttling and stuff at some of those?
You're allowed to, during practice, you're allowed to shuttle them from the perfect example is Preasant, Jamaika.
Yeah.
2 countries it's split up in.
Yeah.
So you got to drive them over the border.
Yeah, right.
And, yeah. So you got to pick them up there, drive them back. Yeah. It's just that sort of little stuff.
That's a race where it started in one country and finished in another, at some of the stages?
That race started in Slovenia and it finishes in Austria.
Yes,
because the borders are literally sandwiched together. There's just one mountain range that separates it.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
What was your favourite race?
Oh, I feel like Burke, USA. But always, that was probably in terms of racing, that was a really fun one.
Yeah, okay.
Hadn't been there before. Really good general riding around there too.
Mm-hmm.
But my favourite place to always go back to is Canazei in Italy.
Okay, yeah, right.
That place is, you go there and you don't feel like you're on Earth anymore. It's It's crazy. Yeah.
How so?
It's just the mountains you're not looking at mountains, you're in the mountains, still looking at mountains.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's nuts. And the riding around is super fun.
Yeah.
Some people are hating practice, but I was on practice with double shorties, so anything was hooking up and I was having a great time. I just love going back there every time.
Is that the one where Jack Moy put up that video of the tape getting blown off by a helicopter?
Oh.
Might have been.
Although maybe that was La Tuile in Italy.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, right.
But Canazei is just an insane place. Your starting stages that are 2,500 meters up and you're riding ridge lines, just going to it. It's unreal. Yeah. It's probably when you see, when you're watching the EWS footage or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's always a picture or a video of some person doing a like a cool table with a really nice mountainous background.
yeah.
That's the spot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah.
What are you doing, like, if they're all out practicing and you're not riding? Like,
What are we doing?
guess you're not just sitting.
Getting wheels ready, getting their practice bikes. Like, so sometimes I have like a second bike to do their weekly spins on and stuff like that. We'll make sure that bike's all good.
Yeah.
And then while they're out on their race bike, or we'll be waiting until it's time to go pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always something to keep us busy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's who's the most brutal rider on their bike on the Yeti team, you reckon?
Oh. That'd definitely, it really depends. Like, in terms of people that like can just break things on command, definitely Richie. He can just he break his wheel on the carbon park. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Casper would also go through a little bit of a couple of things here and there, and wheels and bits and pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that video of Richie doing that cutty in the car park and just exploding his tire just on demand.
Yeah, and it's just like, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that. We'll just go out for a ride, and him and Jared would just do cutties on the asphalt, and I'm like, that is one more degree away of cutty from blowing off, but they know where that limit is.
Was the mechanic in you just crying a little bit watching that rear wheel?
I'm just impressed.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm just, wow. Yep.
Because Richie's a powerhouse, right? Like,
he's legs like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the amount of watts is more than I've probably ever put out combined in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What did kind of Sean teach you, or like, is there anything you've been learning off of Sean over the last year or so, like working with him?
Definitely a couple of, it's just like the little tricks. Like I watched him the other one day and it just blew my mind. He was just like, because just doing a wheel. Yeah. And he had to just check the dish on it really quick and didn't have a dishing tool. Just put it on the bench and got a ruler, flipped it over. Right. I was like, I just watched him do it and I was like, huh. Yeah. There's lots of those little things. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like every now and then he'll pull like this tool out of his toolbox. I'm trying to remember some of the ones and I'm like, huh. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I never even thought of that.
Yeah. Just,
there's
just the little things like that where you're like, you've done it this way for so long, you just see someone do it. And you're like, all right. Yeah.
That just low key blew my mind because I never even thought of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because that would be the dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I flipped it around in drawing tools and stuff before because that works, but not measuring off a table.
As I said, there's a lot of little things, like obviously going from Fox to Shimano from SRAM RockShox on previous teams. He's helped me a lot with, just getting, I've always been familiar with the product, but when you have to race with the product, you have to be extra familiar with the product. It's always just these little niggles that he's like, oh yeah, this, doesn't go with this, or I found that this chain might be stronger than this one, or this one's more durable than that one. And just those little things. Yeah. Yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. Like, especially like suspension setup, I guess you guys are helping him out a little bit, but you're working with like Geordie Cortez and those guys as well. What's the support like from, say, Shimano, Fox to SRAM RockShox? Has there been a big difference or?
Not really. The level of support you get from either or is still really good. Yeah. In terms of suspension setup, like us as mechanics, we do, just your very fine sort of twisting knobs and stuff like that. But when it comes to, I guess, like a test day, then that's always with Fox, and we set all of that up, and then they'll bring a bunch of different products and different tunes, and then throw this one in, see how it goes, and just sort of snowball from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it like being in the test days with those guys?
I only got to be a part of one this year. And I joined it pretty late because I was driving from this, so I got there pretty late. But yeah, it's always a pretty low key thing. The riders will go up and do their lap and come back down and just always give the feedback and this is doing this. Okay, cool. I'll do. Geordie will be like, I'll do what I can do.
Yeah,
yeah.
But you're just there to keep their bike running, really.
Pretty much. That's like the bike. If some kind of bike breaks, well, then that's what I'm there for, and also to obviously just overhear what's going on. Not to interfere, but just, cool. Just so I'm on the same page too. Yeah.
What's it been like working with Geordie a little bit when you have?
little bit when I have. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's super just
Bikes.
day of friends riding bikes almost. Yeah.
It's so funny watching people watch that and think it's something really special, but reality is like it's just dudes riding bikes and twiddling some knobs.
And there's like lots of times where people will, think like you get like just some, it's like some people at races and they're like not athletes, but like maybe spectators or something, or just people that go to the races. And they'll go up to one of the tents and, obviously SRAM or Shimano or Fox or Rock, they can't just be giving everything out.
Yeah.
And some people think that like, oh, well, you didn't help me, so I'll go to Shimano. It's like, go. I'll have a beer with them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like they're not like no one's conflicting.
Yeah.
Everyone's big traveling circus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You couldn't be a dick in that environment because you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Like you'd be so bored and lonely. Like
exactly. You just got to get along. You get along with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has the Yeti been like to deal with over? Like you've gone from Kona single pivot, linkage driven single pivot, then you got on the high single pivot. Now you've gone to Affinity, whatever Switch Affinity.
The Switch Affinity. Yep.
Yeah. Has it been hard dealing with those bikes and rebuilding them and stuff? Like, what's the changes been like? Or is it the same?
I was pretty surprised in how, it looks like there's something complicated going on there in the linkage, but it's really just two stanchions and a bushings.
Yeah.
Just going up and down.
Yeah.
It's nothing like overly magical. It's magical to ride, but when you're servicing it, it's like, oh, that's all it is. And it's like pretty, intuitive.
It's just two things sliding on some Kashima and then a bearing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just creating like a moving pivot throughout its travel. Yeah, so going from lots of different bikes, they've all actually been really simple to service. It's more when a bike has like lots of little spaces on the bearings.
Yeah,
that's where it's like, oh, well, I got to grease this now to stick it on while I hold them to push the swing arm on. Yeah, it's just like. Yeah, it's that sort of stuff that's more annoying. It's in terms of the Forbidden was super simple to service. Couple of, 2 bolts and you got the link out. Yeah. Like, the Yeti as well, super simple. Yeah.
What about a wheel change in a Process X or something like that?
As in like a...
And then you got to hold the derailleur in there because that's not bolted in.
In like a...
In like the Process X's and stuff?
Oh, yeah. 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 Yep.
What is your trick there? I haven't worked it out.
Be gentle.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's the best trick. Be gentle.
Every time I take a rear.
I'd imagine with a Shimano derailleur, it can be a little more challenging because you've got to pull it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just be gentle.
Every time I pull one out, it falls out. I'm just like, fuck.
I've seen people install their own grub screws.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah.
Is Shimano been much different to SRAM?
White bread's different to rye bread. Yeah. Still bread.
It's still a rear derailleur, right?
It's still a rear derailleur. Still does the clickety clackers and the ups and the downs. There are a few differences that I really like. Like with Shimano myself, I really enjoy the thumb shifter, like the double click down.
Oh, 100%.
Because I've been on SRAM for so long, and when I went to Shimano, I almost forgot about it was a feature. And I was like, oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
I used one the other day and I was like, because I never used them that much. Yeah. And I used one the other day and I used the double click twice. Yeah. And I was already just like, I'm sold.
Yeah. This is sick. Yeah.
But then, do you have to service the clutches on them very much for racing, for the rear mechs?
Not really. Yeah. I do check the clutches regularly, and Shimano do have their own like grease that you can do it, and it's like one they recommend you always use. But the cool thing is with the Shimano derailleurs, you can actually, service the clutch. Yeah. And you can check and adjust the tensions. So, I have my little digital torque wrench and I make sure the tension on it's always always good. And then the more things like that you check, the more okay, that's not the problem. Yeah. So you can just...
That can cause huge shifting issues when that's jammed.
If your derailleur, if your clutch is too tight, then definitely it'll it'll be a bit too stiff and it might not drop down as easy and stuff like that.
Or the cage just gets jammed forward.
Exactly.
The best.
Yeah.
Do your riders have any quirky setups for that style of thing, or?
I mean, Bex runs her bars very narrow and likes to change her bars a lot. It's pretty funny. Right. Yeah. like bar width. So it's always a never ending. Maybe go a little bit narrower. Maybe go wider.
How narrow is she on?
What did we go? I think we might have gotten to. I feel like I could be wrong. I'd have to double check, but I feel like 720 might have been a thing.
What? Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'd have to double check, but it was like narrower,
super
maybe
narrow.
740 or 735 or something like that. Yeah.
That's still narrow.
Still narrow, but you're darting through trees, and where she rides it in Olethan all the time, it's very very darty. Yeah. Casper likes his bike set up like a 10-year-old.
Okay. How so?
Soft and noodly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because most people are like stiff and fast, but
yeah, it's a little bit stiffer the faster you go, but when him and I weigh exactly the same, we'll blow away in a storm.
True.
You gotta make it work for you.
Are you setting those bikes up softer for enduro, for example, because they can get more comfort and not tire out as quickly?
I wouldn't honestly really say too much of that. Like, I have had the instance where somebody struggled with, say, like arm pump or something like that. Instead of changing pressures, you just maybe slow the rebound down and open the compression a little.
Yeah.
Because that'll keep you in the travel the whole time. Instead of, throwing you around. But, not too much softer. It's really just the same as doing it in a store or something. You set your base pressure. And then if you need to adjust it finally from there, you go from there. Like, I would say we very rarely do I don't think Beck's changed the pressure in a fork once this season.
Yeah.
We just changed the compressions and stuff ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And maybe ever so slightly in the rear here and there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because theoretically, you shouldn't have to change pressures.
You shouldn't have to, no.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, consistency is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're always chasing that dragon, like you're trying to find that perfect setup, you never learn how to ride one setup.
Yeah, if you keep chasing the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow, like,
you're never going to find it.
You're never going to find it, yeah.
And by that time, you could have ridden that setup, got used to it, and be faster anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess, like, what about Richie? And I guess you haven't worked on his bike as much, but is he super picky or same deal?
I mean, again, I can't really speak too much for it, but I wouldn't say super picky. There will be some last minute changes here and there.
Yeah,
but he knows what he wants. That's the thing. He knows what he wants. That's the best way. And like, all the riders know what they want. Just sometimes it's on a different level of, they'll mull over it for maybe 2 hours, but they know that's what they want. Yeah.
Was there, for me, like, Fox has got 72 clicks of compression on one of their forks, and then RockShox will have 10.
Yeah.
Like, each click on a RockShox does more, in my mind, to the ride feel than what Fox does. Do those clicks actually make a difference, you reckon?
Absolutely. The biggest one I've found makes the difference was the high speed rebound on my rear shock.
Okay.
I've found that made, like, you do one and you'd be like, oh yeah, that did one. Right. Yeah.
Weird. That's because I don't really feel high speed rebound in the rear. I guess because I don't use it that often because I'm not on Fox, but I can't say I'd ever really feel it. Yeah,
it's really just like a, Well, sometimes it's placebo effect as well, honestly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you could say, yep, I did it one.
Yeah.
And you haven't, but it feels great. Sweet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Placebo effect is amazing. I love it. So you traveled, what was the travel setup like for you guys? We talked about this before at dinner, but you were talking about how some people live in a loft in the back of their race van.
Yeah.
And then you got other dudes that are pretty much just camping in the back of a van as well.
Yeah.
What have you guys been like? Like, what's the setup like?
Very spoilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's how I've felt so far.
Yep.
Again, first season, so I'm not sure if that's always been the go.
Yeah. They're just trying to sign you up and keep you there.
Exactly. Dangle the carrot.
Yeah.
We're pretty spoiled. Like, as I say, we all make our own dinner, so we all have a kitchen facility. We usually have riders stay in one house and all the staff stay in the other.
Yep.
So that's always pretty handy because then, the rider's house is always quieter earlier.
Yeah.
And then we're getting home at 9.
Yeah.
Some people in the house and staff house aren't going to bed till 12:31. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. We generally all have, if we don't have a room, it'll only be with like one other person. But again, first season, so
yeah,
things could.
Next year you're all sleeping.
Once I have as many years as Sean, I can give you a more honest answer. Yeah.
So what's you're just talking about getting back and stuff. This episode's gone all over the place, but what's your day like? Or what's your weekend like for a race and setting up bikes and?
So like let's start with a Monday.
Yep.
Let's start with Monday. Monday, you're probably driving to the race.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably 10 hours away or something. You're driving there.
Yep.
Get there. Then Tuesday, depending on when they let you set up, you'll set your tent up Tuesday morning.
Yep.
If you need to do bike work, you can do that in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, if we can get a ride in, we'll usually do it on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Again, we don't always get that chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Wednesday, it's a full day working on bikes.
Okay.
Prep work is key. If you do all your prep work, you drop your Fox, you drop your suspension off to Fox.
Yeah.
Drop your Fox off to suspension.
Yeah.
If you do that,
Fox.
if you drop it off, you rebuild your bike, you bleed your brakes, you've done your tires, you've done your spare wheels.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the week is pretty smooth sailing in terms of bike work from there, unless anything breaks.
Yeah. Okay.
Do that. Like Wednesday, Thursday will be usually shakedown day.
Mm-hmm.
Then Friday is practice.
Yeah.
Saturday pro stage, and then Sunday is race, and then pack down. But it's like all those times. Obviously, after every event or every opportunity that racer is on their bike, you check it. You make sure it's good. Whole lot. And as long as you've done all that prep work, like you put all Loctite on the correct bolts, you've done all, you've ticked all your boxes earlier in the week, then sometimes you literally just have to wash it and bolt check it and it's done.
So you're doing like on that, was it Wednesday or Thursday, you're doing a full rebuild? Like frame, everything.
It's all coming apart.
Yeah.
Because, you can't leave anything to chance when when everybody's been brought from everywhere to this one location.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't leave it to chance. Yeah.
So how long does it take for you to get that bike stripped down and then pretty much back together?
Being that I've been pretty lucky and only had to work on one rider's bike this year, I'm going to say I might start at like 10 and then usually finish maybe around 4 or 5.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's like as meticulous as it can get, just about, Yeah.
So you like rebuilding hubs and taking everything
if
off?
we need to, absolutely. Right. Like check the free hub body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down to a lot. Yeah, because like I said, if everyone's been brought to this one location, it's cost somebody somewhere a lot of money to be there. You can't leave it to chance. Yeah. Can't just be like, oh yeah, I washed it, it's good to go. Like, yeah.
But 6 hours also is still, that's not like pinned. It's pretty quick, but
and it also does depend if maybe they broke something the week before and stuff like that. And then sometimes it can take a bit longer. Yeah. Sometimes they might get down from, it was like at what race was it? At Ludenville this year. So the last series race. Yeah. In the pro stage, Bex destroyed her front rotor. Yeah. And wrote the lowers off in the process.
How?
Her rotor stopped her physically. Yeah. Not with the pad contact. So she managed to find a perfect tree for the rotor to just on and just crumpled the rotor. Yeah. I've never seen it a rotor snapped. It's crazy. What? And it's just as she's getting down the rest of the stage, just rubbing on her lowers.
Yeah, sick.
And putting a hole on them. And it's cool. Yeah. And they finished pro stage that day 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's sweet.
Yeah.
So quickly rip the forks off and go over to Fox and be like, you guys got some laws? Yeah. Yeah.
She just wanted more negative air.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's it.
And that's how you do that. And you know, so I was like, when something does go wrong, I know what condition the rest of the bike is in.
Yeah.
So like, okay, cool. I know it needs the most attention. Yeah.
Do you have like a bunch of spares just with you, like all the time?
We have what we need for sure. And if we do need anything extra, then Shimano or Fox are always there to help us out if they've got it too.
Because it's got to be super tough for guys, like especially EWS, because it is actually a World Series. Like this year coming there, Australia, Europe, America, Europe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like traveling around with that much stuff has got to be impossible.
Yeah, you really do rely on the you know, your country importers and stuff like that. Like actually a lot of the stuff we will do like an initial fly out with.
Yeah.
So like the first race we'll load bike bags and suitcases and fly over with it all, empty it into the van.
Yeah.
And then just do little top ups from there if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's usually just one big, okay, cool, we got it all, and go from there. Because everything gets sent to one location. Yeah. And then you sort it all from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds way easier than I thought.
It's, you know, when you got to go through the airport and you're one person's checking in 5 bags.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
$2,500 of oversized, whatever it is.
It's like, yep, no problem. Here you go. Yeah. Rock up expecting it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And were you a part of developing, like, because Yeti's released pretty much every single bike is new this year.
Yeah. We got the 120, 140, and 160.
Yep. Were you developing, like, was that getting developed on the race scene? Or?
I guess I came in pretty late to the development stage of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure the bike was already developed and almost ready to go by that point. It was really cool getting the first ones for Bex and Richie, and I think I left the dinner early on Sugarloaf.
Yeah.
To go back, get Bex's bike done because she had to fly back in the morning with it, and then I had to drive back across America to drop the van off.
Yeah. So
I had like a 4-hour window to get her bike finished.
Yeah, right.
And it was just like put together in the bag.
Yep.
Done. Yeah.
That's so sick. What's Yeti as a whole been like? Have you been able to visit like the company and check everything out?
Yeah, it's really nice going back to the headquarters. Like it's kind of when you're traveling all the time over all the places, going back to like a familiar location, it's just like really nice. You kind of can feel like you can. Yeah. You know, you look at something, you let out a deep sigh. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah. It's really like that. Like, it's like, I know the people here. I know where the coffee machine is. I know. Yeah. It's very nice. And like, it's really surreal. Like going from teams where I haven't been to like the company's headquarters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, going to Golden and being at Yeti.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're walking around, you're like, this is the shipping department. This is where everything comes from. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So they're pretty welcoming, eh?
Oh, very. Yeah. I think like the first week I got there, we did like a go-karting thing, and then it was they had like a big barbecue and everything, and it was awesome. And everyone there is like encouraged to go riding every lunchtime because the trail is right across the road.
Yeah.
So
that's where they have the lunch ride specials and stuff.
That's where the lunch ride comes from. Yeah.
That's so good because looking from the outside in, they seem like obviously they're a bit boutiquey, but whether they're that not snobbish, but they don't seem like the.
No, they're definitely not like yes, the bikes are, they're, like you said, a boutique style bike, but when you see like the amount of passionate people and the amount of development that's going into it, that's why it costs that. Yeah.
I think people get lost in the material side of things. Like a frame might cost $500 to manufacture, but to design that frame took 6 months of 5 people's time.
Exactly. Like it's taken a lot longer. Yeah. So it's like that's where it's come from. Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see it being a race though and seeing it up there. And
like it's really cool. Like obviously they always work with the race, like on the race teams, like a lot, and we, always giving feedback.
Yeah. Have you ridden the e-bike? Yeah.
It's dangerous. That's how fun it is.
Yeah, sick.
I rode the e-bike for the first time in Tweed Valley. It was Bex's, and we were all recovering from COVID at the time.
Yeah.
Sean and I actually boarded the plane back to Europe, still testing positive. And we tested negative as soon as we arrived into Europe.
Yeah.
We're like, yes.
That's so bad. That's so good.
Like, well, we have to go. So we did that. And then, like, Bex was still recovering. So I towed her around on the e-bike all day.
Yeah.
And I usually ride a large. This was a medium frame. All of Bex's settings on, I touched it.
Yeah.
At least the brakes were the right way around. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I was just surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised. I was like, this thing is just had zero attention to how I would ride it.
Yeah.
And it's just ripping.
Yeah, right.
I noticed that most through like really tight trees, like super tight. And there was like a little bit of an S-bend through them. And it was just root shatter the whole way through it.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was just point and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I had to do.
That extra weight that e-bikes have gives you so much grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That suspension design is really cool too.
The Sixfinity is just insane with what it can do. Yeah.
Yeah. They got around like an issue to keep their Switchfinity so well and so compact on that bike. It looks like it just works.
Oh, it achieves the same principle as the Switchfinity with the 6-bar. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking to Sean about it. I'm like, because I was writing the press release for Evo, and I'm like, dude, this isn't a 6-bar. And he's like, yes, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. There's only 5 bars. Like, what is going on? And it took me forever to realize that bit that went from the seat stay to the chain stay was separate.
Yeah.
So technically it's a 6-bar, but it was real kooky. But it works really well by the looks of it.
If anybody gets a chance to ride one,
yes,
not just a sales pitch, do it.
Yeah.
I
think Lockie took one for a ride and he loved it. Lockie McKillop.
He's been messaging. He's talking to me. He's like, man, I really want one of those. It's like, got to do it. Yeah.
I think the motor might have something to do with it. You can't just put a sticker over it or something.
Pretty sure they sell electrical tape somewhere.
Yeah. Sick. So like after that big season, was it good to come home and chill? Or?
Yeah, it was a very busy season. I worked it out. It was 16 races. And I think...
What?
Yeah. So in between, I'd go to, if there wasn't an EWS race happening or a US like we did US Nationals for Enduro and some of the big mountain enduros in the US, we did those. And then if there wasn't any of that happening and I had a free time, I'd go to the downhills and help my partner and her friend out racing. So I went to 2, maybe say 2.2 downhill races.
2.2. Yeah, okay. I went to the race day.
I arrived into World Championships as Amory Piron's race run started.
Yeah, right.
So last rider on the hill, that's when I got there.
So you got there just in time for the good shit.
Yeah. So, then I went to Lenzerheide and Val di Sole as well.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it was 16 races. That's just overseas ones, not the ones here. In like 6 months. And I think I worked out it was like 5 weeks in that 6 months where it might have been not traveling to or at an event. And then if we weren't traveling to or at an event, we were usually back at Yeti or we were somewhere doing something, like a team camp or something. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because in 6 months, that's almost every 2 weeks. Like you're at a race.
You're in a car traveling somewhere, or you're on a plane traveling somewhere, or
How's the travel like? How do you do that? Like, you're just driving all the time, yeah?
Really good playlists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you just doing it solo, or are you with Sean?
Sometimes we're doing it together, like, 2 people. Somebody. The one I did across America was solo. Did Europe once solo. Did one of them with Sean. And I guess at the moment, these 2 drives I'm doing to and from Perth is solo as well. Yeah, you just get used to it.
That's insane, man.
Get used to it.
Insane.
Just sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. That's what would drive me
I'd say you get a lot of time to think, but I wouldn't say I've had any like epiphanies yet. Yeah.
You haven't solved you haven't cured cancer.
I haven't cured cancer yet. No. Yeah. Maybe on the next drive across the country we'll
probably
see.
Cross the Nullarbor.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to look at.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh yeah, actually. Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. But this one will work. Yeah.
But yeah, the travel. I think the only time I get like really homesick is when you see the end in sight. You're in like the last month or like 2 or 3 weeks of the trip.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm nearly there. I'm nearly back to having a VB and a Palmy. I'm nearly there.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said Palmy then and not Palmer. I thought you were going to go there. I was like, oh, sorry to end it there. I'm mine. So like, how long is a drive? Say in Europe, you could be doing like 12 hours or something, right? Or was it?
I tend to only do like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's...
Yeah.
Like you could go definitely longer because it's just the way it is. You don't really have any guidelines to abide by.
You're not a truckie.
We're not a truckie, exactly.
Yeah.
But, common sense does prevail and we do what's safe. So 10 hours is pretty good. And yeah.
Any crazy road trip stories like from America or anything like?
I didn't. Oh, we saw. Where was it? In Missouri. I wouldn't say it was a road trip, but we saw some lady just like with her phone like torch in her mouth, mowing the lawns at like 9:30 p.m. That was pretty funny.
Just dedication.
And it was like in the gutter, like mowing the lawns. It was so funny. We're like, okay, cool. Not really crazy like nothing trips from America, and more the crazy stories are in Europe because generally every time I drive across Italy, I'll pass at least like 2 truck fires.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, like just a semi will be on fire on the other side of the road. It's like you're like, okay, cool. The van, not this year. This is back in 2019. The van got rear-ended.
Yeah, right.
And there was like this big Sprinter we had with like a metal bar on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So the van was completely fine. We were in like peak hour traffic coming through Milan.
Yeah.
And this dude in like this little Toyota Corolla with an absolutely destroyed front end just pulls up beside me, gives me the thumbs up. I give him the thumbs up and we both went our ways. I was like, cool. I'm into that. Yeah.
But I made a mistake. My bad.
I don't have to get off on the side of the highway in peak hour traffic and try to communicate to this person.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Not really crazy. Honestly, like if I got back to you in like 48 hours, I'd probably think of one, but nothing that's like this was mind blowing.
Still just passing truck fires and just being 10 hours deep would be enough for me. Like, I'm done.
10 hours deep back like 3 days in a row. Yeah.
That's I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't.
Just get used. You do get used to it. I'd been when I lived in Perth before I did all of this. I suppose. I think in the last one, you just like I said, I came from Perth a whole lot, and I'd always be driving and be like to a race or something, and these races are 5 hours away.
Yeah.
And it's just like every time I'd be driving, I'd just be thinking to myself, I was like, this is practice.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew that going racing involved a lot of driving. Yeah. So I conditioned myself pretty young to just sit in the car and sit it out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I remember we had the National Cup in Adelaide this year, at the start of the year, and a few people come down like, the drive's so long. I'm like, mate, this is what we do every time because we never have races here.
Yeah, and you just get used to it. Yeah.
Like 15 hours to Threadville or something. It's like, okay, I got to get it done.
Yeah.
What was World Champs like?
For the very short moment I was there.
Well, you were there for the
I was there for the swarm of people on Loic. That was pretty wild to see.
Yeah.
Although, I was like, we saw it and then we were like, okay, we need to get out of here. It's getting pretty wild. We need to go pack things up still. So we just quickly got out of there. But then the after party and everything was pretty wild. And
did you go?
Oh yeah, we attended.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was as wild as 2019.
Oh really? Yeah.
But it was still pretty crazy.
What happened in 2019 if that was
Oh, 2019, I came down from one point one time and there was like a canoe in pieces at the bottom of the stairs and riot police. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That place looks wild. I know like Matt Russo and a few guys were just like, they just didn't want to go out because it was like, it's going to turn to...
Oh, yeah. The French can party.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's something like that, they party. Yeah.
What's better, like downhill after parties or enduro after parties?
Oh, definitely downhill ones.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say enduro doesn't have them. They definitely do. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess like the amount I've been to so far downhill ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you reckon parties are hardest? Like out
of just anybody?
Athletes, yeah.
Out of athletes? Probably. From what I've seen, I'm going to probably say Nina Hoffman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just from what I've seen, like, again, I could be very wrong.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody out there who's more insane, but
yeah,
every time I've seen her at an after party, it's been pretty
wild.
Just all go.
Yes,
yeah.
Sick. Because Amory and stuff, they look like they can party.
Oh, they definitely do as well. Like,
yeah, but she's another level.
Yeah, it's just go. Yeah.
That's so good. You mentioned like your partner Anna Newkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like having a partner that's on the race scene, and she's not from Australia, right? She's from
she's from the US.
Yeah.
Lives in Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah, her whole family moved to Switzerland when she was young.
What's it like being in a long distance racing relationship?
I guess it's easier than being in a general long distance relationship because you both understand what you're doing and you're both very busy people in the off season.
Yep.
Like that's the thing. It's the thing with a long distance relationship. You're just busy people.
Yeah.
Like, I think she put it great one day. She's like, I could be at home doing what I'm doing, usually too busy for a relationship anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And not talking to somebody. Or I could be at home doing the same stuff and talking to somebody.
Yeah, true.
So
yeah,
it's kind of like that. Yeah.
And the time differences and stuff.
Yeah, like I think at the moment it'd be like, depending where I am, it's usually about 3 or 4 p.m.
Yeah.
She'll wake up and then.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get some time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. I can't imagine there's many relationships like that around the world that are going on.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah. There was.
There was. Sick.
Yeah.
Team rumors are coming in from breakups. Oh, God. It's got to happen, though. Like, you look at how tight everyone is and, like, everyone's around each other all the time.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that before we get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your plans for next year? You still on the Yeti team? Still doing the same thing?
Still on the Yeti program, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. Like, just another season, not just another season, another season of working with the best.
And home races.
Oh, I'm very excited for Tasmania.
Yeah.
No, don't have to change your SIM card. Don't have to different currency.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they use a different currency down in Tassie. It's some sort of animal.
They use the devilly doos.
Yeah. They're going to, Maydena's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big hill for an enduro.
It's a big hill in a small town for a big race.
True.
Yeah.
True. You mentioned before, like, teams are already worried about accommodation.
Yeah, definitely going to be people staying in Hobart. Mm-hmm. I mean, there already are people doing that for nationals.
Yes.
And what do you do about it? Don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do about it. If you don't complain, don't go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. I want to go to the Maydena one just to see how insane that town is with everyone there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be huge.
Exactly. I think there's going to be a lot of people like myself staying in RVs, like in the pits, stuff like that, and sweet. Yeah. Fine with that.
Or the campground they've got just down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure that'll be full as well, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such... Have you been there? Like
to the campground?
Yeah.
I haven't, no.
So you know where the railway is?
Yeah.
And like directly across Maydena is that street. You go down there and there's the railway and there's this big open area just before the river. Yeah. That's the camp site.
Did I have a platypus in there?
Didn't see one. But there was a lot of people in there and freezing their asses off for nationals. But just in general, that whole campsite was sick.
Yeah.
And then the heli came in one night because someone got bitten by a snake.
Interesting.
So the heli landed in between us all. Like we had all our cars and it was just like, and it was like, what the fuck is... It was dark. We couldn't see anything. Just helis. Yeah, it was sick.
Jeez. We saw a few danger noodles out on our ride today.
Yeah, you would today.
Oh, yeah. Sun was finally out.
Where'd you go?
Where did we go? From Aaron's house, down, around, up the hill.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually don't know.
Like the Lairway. Yeah. It'd be Andos and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We have so many danger noodles here.
Yeah, just Aaron put it perfectly. He's just doing a disco rhythm away from us.
Yeah.
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 Just out of here.
They don't care.
No,
like,
they don't care.
They're not going to do anything.
Just don't get bitten on the neck and you'll be right.
Yeah, I don't plan on it.
Yeah.
The thing that blew me away that you said just before dinner is you saw your first wild koalas.
Oh, yeah. Never seen a wild koala.
Like that has absolutely blown my mind.
And we saw 2 fighting in a tree today.
Yeah.
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 I was like, sick.
There's probably like a few out there right now. Yeah. You come across them on tracks and stuff here. As you're riding, like they'll just be sitting
just there?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, never. We don't have koalas in WA.
Yeah, just sharks.
I say wild koala because I've definitely seen a koala like in a zoo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a koala. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then Derby's going to be good next year, I reckon.
Derby.
For EWS.
I actually haven't been to Derby yet.
Me neither.
Yeah. I've been to Tassie a couple of times. Haven't been to Derby yet. Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to go to that one.
Yeah.
I've been to Maydena a lot. So I think Derby will be cool.
Yeah. I reckon it'll be sick.
And then what are your thoughts on the EWS and downhill races same weekend or same event stuff for next year?
I think downhill and XC are going to hate it.
Yeah.
I think EWS is going to love it.
Yeah, okay.
Simply because it's going to bring EWS up to that level.
True.
Of media and a whole lot. Yeah, I know a lot of things that have been said behind closed doors.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people that are excited about it and a lot of people that are definitely not excited about it.
Yeah, right.
I think it'll be... You know, I was just in New Zealand. I went and visited my nan.
Yeah.
And she was like, I've never watched a Tour de France in my life before until this year. And she's like, I loved it.
Yeah, right.
She's like, Tour de France was awesome. And I was like, oh, did you watch it on Discovery? And she's like, yeah. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of, like, that's already the crowd that they're going to get extra into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sweet, you can now watch the races that I'm at. Yeah. And never had the chance to do that before. Sorry to give you a very politician answer to your question there, but
no, it makes sense. Like I'm on board with it.
Yeah. I sit on the fence with a lot of things. I just sort of sit there and I just wait to see how it unravels before I pick a side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like same applies for the current situation in our country of certain bodies.
Yeah.
Without getting too specific and getting in trouble again. But Martin Whiteley said like the UCI is a governing body. They don't manage events.
Yeah, no.
And then ESO can manage events, make the events better.
Yeah.
UCI cycling will manage the rules, and then Discovery will manage the media.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to do a better job at what they're better at.
Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of money in and a whole lot. It's going to make the sport look more professional in terms of them limiting the amount of people that qualify and things like that. I'm not for. I think if they're bringing more money in, they should be, especially for women's cycling, they should be making it like it's top 15 at the moment. It should at least be 20.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I mean, when Red Bull were doing it, I'm like, it's literally, they only would broadcast the top 10.
Yeah.
And top 15 qualified. I'm like, it's literally 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
more
fuckable. Yeah.
For you to just point that camera, which you're already doing because when you're at the race, they're on the TV, like in the corral.
Yeah.
So camera's already on them. Just press
record.
Press record. Like, sure, it's not that easy, but like it's 2.5 minutes. Like,
I think there's something with they have to buy time or something from certain things and whatever. But it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's not huge.
No.
And same with juniors, like just record it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't need to be live.
Like I said to a bunch of people, I would be happy to pay for a subscription to downhill or mountain bike racing to watch it if I got more races, like more people televised, like qualifying juniors. I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they're going to make it a smaller field and to make people still pay, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And like you look at the juniors level this year, it was so damn good.
Yeah.
Like the racing was almost as good, if not better than some of the men's. Like,
and it's just like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure one of the races, Jordan, I think it was Jordan, had the fastest time overall.
Yeah, I think, and multiple races, they were both in the top 5, if not the top 10.
Exactly.
And it's like, what are you guys on? Sure, there's different like weather conditions, but still, it's never happened that consistently ever before.
Yeah.
I happily get Martin Whiteley to fact check that for me, but I don't think it's ever happened like that before.
No.
So, but I don't know what it's going to be like for teams. Like apparently there's going to be bigger budgets and stuff, or cost more for.
I'm not too sure yet. I know it will cost more, not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot more.
Yeah.
I know that one for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But in terms of like, I don't know, supplements and stuff like that teams might get, I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
Don't know anything like that. Yeah.
As long as that Andorra pit situation doesn't happen again, that was brutal.
Jeez.
It was like 2.5K ride to the pits or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I mean, I'm glad I wasn't at that race. Like that just looked like an absolute mess. Yeah.
Like having pop-up tents at the bottom of the track. Has there been any bad pit setups for EWS, or has it all been pretty?
Not an EWS, but an EWS-E.
Okay.
And that was Valberg. It's a beautiful place, but... No. Valberg. It's a beautiful place, but probably good trails too, but...
What's wrong with the pit setup?
So we had one pit set up at the top of the hill. Yeah. And it was like let's call it the main pit setup.
Mm.
SRAM and Shimano were set up there too and all of that. And then they had a second pit setup.
Yeah.
Half an hour down the road.
Okay.
And not just like down the road, like down the mountain pass.
Yeah, sick. Yeah.
In this tiny, tiny town. And you'd all cramp into just one little car park. And then they had a third pit set up at the bottom of the pro stage. So it was your job all week to just be doing loops.
Why?
Just trying to get here to there to this, that. And then I walked through the main pit setup during the race because the race finished 45 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And there was no one. I think the only people there was like the Shimano guys packing down.
Yeah.
And the SRAM guys packing down.
Yeah, right.
That's the only people that were there. I was like, sick race environment. Yeah.
It's not that hard.
No.
What do you think of the did you watch all the World Cups this year?
Oh yeah.
Try to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think of the man-made bridge setup?
In Andorra?
Yeah.
Just that end one was sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the the drop at the end. That was pretty sketchy. That got a couple of people.
Yeah.
And then the part that sketched me out the most is after they did the shoot with the drops.
Yeah.
It was so many people walked the line of hitting the edge to your left or making it onto the bridge.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Everyone was complaining about the 90-degree drop, and then I saw that and I was like, someone's going to die.
That's going to do more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
What was your favourite downhill race?
Oh.
You reckon?
I'm trying to remember them all.
I know, right?
Geez. Maybe Lenzerheide? Maybe. I don't know, actually.
Lenzerheide was cool.
Where were they all?
Lenzerheide was cool. That new track at Andorra was pretty sick, except for the bottom section.
Yeah.
Like some of those gaps that Maydena and stuff were pulling.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
I'm trying to. I honestly can't remember where all the race events were.
It's got to be Cannibal though.
Oh, it's always Cannibal.
That was thick.
Jackson won this year. That was a good year. Yeah.
What was that like for you guys?
That was good. That was really good. I was like, cool. Here's the first depends who you are to say major win, but
it's pretty major.
It's it's the biggest downhill race in Australia.
Yeah, without doubt.
That was the one. It's sick. Yeah.
That was a tough week for you, right? Because it was like 6 wheels and whatever else, and
a couple of wheels and stuff like that, and just
not just Jackson's either.
I'm pretty sure I sent Jackson out on race ride for Cannonball, and I knew that wheel had one run left in it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
And I went, we were out of wheels, and I went, that's all you got?
Yeah.
And then he got down, I had like 3 broken spokes, and
God.
I was like, cool.
It held.
Yeah, you got the job done.
What'd you do between there and Maydena? Because you went straight down, right?
We did, yeah. What did we do between? No, we just went straight down. Spent the night in Melbourne.
And just ran that wheel for the...
No, I might have built some.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I built a couple.
Yeah. Right.
Just got it done, and then in Maydena he rode off like 4 chain rings. Yeah.
On the softest track in Australia, and he rode off 4 chain rings.
Just kept finding that one stump.
Do you reckon him being so brutal? I know what stump he found too, and he wasn't supposed to hit that. Do you reckon being Jackson's mechanic has helped you out a lot because you've got so good at repairing stuff?
He hasn't really broken a lot up until now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But it's always, I'd say more working in bike shops has helped me fixing broken stuff.
Stuff that you got to repair real cheap. And that old Altus derailleur, the guy can't afford it.
Oh, yeah. You just get it going. You're like, you just tell them the harsh truth.
Yeah.
You're like, look, I'm sorry. I've done what I can. Yeah.
Yeah. This is as best as I can get it.
Yeah.
I'm not Jesus. Sick. So, let's start wrapping things up, I reckon. The usual 3 questions, I guess. But what advice would you have to anyone who wants to get into being a race mechanic? Learn how to drive.
Have a manual driver's license. That's number 1. Actually, that's a good one. Yeah. Get really comfortable with driving really long distances. Yeah.
And long hours.
And still be sensible.
Yeah.
I still drive only like 2 to 3 hours before I have a break. Be sensible. Yeah. I know you can just like slap these together in the edit, can't you? Yeah. Second one, hey. I
learned how to do that easily the other day too.
Oh, yeah?
Let's see.
Nice. Second bit of advice. Trying to remember what my first bits of advice were, and I'm like,
I can't even remember.
And I'm like trying not to repeat myself.
It's like 2 years ago.
Second bit of advice. Don't be a galah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's probably...
What do you mean by that? A galah is a bird for our international listeners out there. Go look it up.
Just keep your head screwed on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to put it. Like, cool, I get it. Like, sweet, you're at a race fixing bikes. It's awesome. And I would, as many people want to do that, they should. Just keep a lid on it. I guess that's maybe...
Don't get big-headed and stuff like that.
I guess so, yeah. I've seen a couple of people like at some races. Again, maybe not. Seen some people and they're like, oh, I want to do what you do. I'm like, yeah, sick. And then like I see them at the party literally just fucking breaking shit. I'm now not cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more to... Because there's a higher chance that someone like Polar Bear or, a team manager's at that party.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They're not going to think that that's a nice thing. Yeah. Third bit of advice.
I don't think we need 3, but yeah.
We need 3. I've only done 2.
Oh,
just have fun. Don't forget the people that have helped you out. That's a big one.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't be coming back every season and having a roof over my head. Things like that if it wasn't for the kindness of the people that are closest to me.
Yeah.
And the day will come where I can repay that kindness. So, yeah.
100%.
Just don't forget about those people that said yes to you in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's very important as well. Well, everyone does it every now and then, but you got to keep that in mind for sure. You should ask what you regret.
What do I regret?
Anything you regret?
I regret every day leaving my cat in Europe.
Why's your cat in Europe?
Do you want to hear a funny story? A great story.
Yeah. Why is your cat in Europe?
The story of how Anna and I adopted a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in Maribor 2021 for the European Cup. And then I think it was like the World Cup or something later. Anyway, European Cup. We were there for that. And then it was, and then the following week was the downhill. UCI, that's right. Yeah. So we're there for that. And then we're staying in this really sketchy accommodation in town. We checked in and there's this old Slovenian couple cleaning the house still. Yeah. This is not a nice house, by the way. This is ready to fall down.
Yeah.
But just slept us all. Enough people. It's like, sweet, cool. And just, I'm like, we had to go to the ATM to get money out to give the dude cash to pay for the house.
Yeah, right.
And the dude that was cleaning the house literally walks out the front door as I'm reversing on the driveway. I see him walk out. He just throws up all over the driveway. Oh. I was like, yeah, sick. This is how it is. Yeah. So, and this is peak COVID time as well. So we're all just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
just dying.
Yeah. So anyway, we do that. We get back and then Anna and I got there before everybody else. Mm-hmm. And we went to the pharmacy beforehand, bought spray disinfectant, the whole we sprayed the whole house. Yeah. Right. Every bed sheet, the whole thing. Yep. Nah, not happening. Anyway.
So just full napalm the place with Glen 20.
We pretty much did. Yeah. We washed all the dishes, everything.
No way.
Oh yeah. I was like, we're not getting sick. So this place had a lot of stray cats around the place. And, every night you'd hear cat fights and stuff like that. And the first time I pulled into the driveway, we saw this kitten I saw him with an older cat at one point. Yeah. And then it just ran off instantly. Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. And then after the first week, we saw just the kitten again. And then Anna just was just like, I'm going to give it some food. So it was in the side door, laundry thing. It was real weird where this room was. It was full of junk.
Yeah, okay.
And she just left a bowl of, actually just a bowl of milk there. Yeah. And this kitten didn't want to come up to us. She just had the milk, it ran off again. It's all right, sick, bye. And then again, still hear cat fights every night. And then I saw another kitten there, had one eye the whole lot. It was a rough neighborhood, man.
It's the Bronx.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, geez. And then we saw the cat a couple more times. And again, Anna gave it food. Yeah. And then the last night, the little kitten came around. Again, this kitten's 8 weeks old. Yeah. It's tiny. And no parents, nothing. Yeah. Just a kitten. So came around, gave it food. It wouldn't leave us alone. Yeah, okay. And we gave it every opportunity to leave. Yeah. Front doors open. Do what you want. We were packing the car the next morning as well. And it's just walking around us.
Yes,
it walks off into the bush, does its business, comes back, sits down. They're like, okay, it's not what cats do. Yeah. So yeah, I think she messaged her mum and was like, what do we do with this kitten? And her mum was like, bring it home. Yeah, right. And we weren't it's the usual oh, that's cute, bring it home. And we weren't oh no, are you serious? Because we will. Yeah. Yep. So wrapped the kitten up in a blanket, drove to the pet store. Yep. Got a cage and some food.
Sick.
and drove 10 hours back to Switzerland.
Just to end up with a cat.
And now she's got 3 cats.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So now, I've got a cat in Switzerland.
Why not?
Yeah. Just hanging out.
That's so good.
I mean, I probably should pay like child support or something, but I don't.
What's the going rate on child support?
How many francs is that? Yeah.
Just get the lawyers involved. Oh, dude. Yeah, that sucks. I'd hate to leave a pet overseas.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, I know he's living at Anna's place with her and her parents, so it's like, it's cool.
Living the best life.
It's living its best life. It really is, yeah.
You saved it from the Bronx.
Oh, pretty much. Like, saved it from, like, getting hit by a car or, like, losing an eye or just dying in general from malnourishment. Something like that, yeah.
Last question. You've been listening to a lot, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What are some favourite tunes you've been got going on?
So I think the last time I told you it was like a lot of like metal, like stuff like that. And it still is, but like not so much. I pretty much at the moment have solely been listening to like 60s and 70s country.
Good.
And like J-pop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really been too much of an in-between. Or like symphonic, if that's the word. Like metal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
J-pop. I miss J-pop.
Yeah, like that's people ask me when people put like on in the car, what do you listen to? I'm like, I will listen to almost anything you put on. Like I will be into it.
I'm almost getting into country. Almost there.
Just got to drive across the country a couple of times and pass some wheat fields and
spend more time in Canberra.
It just hits you.
Yeah. I was going to ask something, but now I forgot. Yeah. Will the public ever see your tattoos?
If you want to, send me a message. I'm happy to send them to you. Yeah.
I still remember like you put one up. I'm like, dude, this isn't on the...
Have you seen them all? Like,
not all of them.
I've got 5 now on there.
You put like one up and it was on the public stories for Insta.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's off from public.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Quickly change it to the close friends.
Oh, dude. Every time one comes through, I'm just like, what is it now?
Yeah.
Where's that come from? Like,
I just like that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
Body's going to get burnt and shot into space one day anyway, so what do I care?
Okay. Yeah. Shot into space, you reckon?
You can get like... This is so cool. You can pay like $12,000. Okay, I don't know. What's the average price of a funeral? Like 25 grand?
True. Yeah.
So 12,000. And you can have a quarter of your ashes blasted into space.
Only a quarter?
Well, because it gets sent on a satellite that does a space mission and you can choose to do the Earth, like the solar system, or just into the fucking nether.
Yeah. That's so sick.
You're just gone. Like, see ya. Yeah.
Just see ET on the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, yeah, I'm 100% down for that. Actually.
Yeah.
That's sick. Easy, dude. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on.
It's been good.
Thanks for doing it in person.
Yeah. I'm glad we could.
Yeah, it's been sick. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in Maydena after tomorrow morning.
After tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Easy, man. Thank you.